Just in and running into trouble already. Ugh. I hope that is not a sign of things to come. You can usually tell early on what the vibe of a hike will be. It's fascinating what we interpret as signs, whether good or bad, especially when we encounter challenging conditions like I faced today. Could a tree branch holding me back really be a warning sign? Time will tell, but one thing is for sure. Adventure only really begins when we leave our comfort zone behind. The midge have been out in force today. I haven't been brave enough to stop to piece the camera yet. Ugh, everywhere. I guess that's what you get for coming out on a mild and extremely humid day. And I don't think the weather is going to be on our side today. There's lots of low cloud forecast, potential for rain and some wind. But that doesn't mean we can't have a good day out in the Scottish mountains. And as Billy Connolly once said, there's no such thing as bad weather, just inappropriate clothing, and I tend to agree with that. You know, unless we're getting into like ridiculous conditions, which I have experienced, and truth be told, don't fancy experiencing them too often if I don't have to. But, I mean, look at these surroundings, it's just absolutely breathtaking, especially with the lovely low-hanging cloud. Yeah, just creates this beautiful stereotypically Scottish atmosphere, which is really nice. And I'm doing a circular route today in the Arrochar Alps. I'm not going to tell you which mountains I'm climbing yet. I'll leave that for the summit. And if you've guessed where I am already, leave it in the comments. But yeah, beautiful day-ish, beautiful mountains. Whew, can't complain. I'm on the ridge proper now, just about 600 metres in elevation. Ugh. So it's been a reasonably quick progress today, and given the conditions of how wet and windy it is, I think that's pretty good going. And also the wind is keeping the midges away, which is nice. I think without the wind that could be quite ferocious up here with midges. But yeah, because we're at 600 metres, it's actually not a great deal more altitude left. We're only going up to about 950 metres. But the good thing about this route is that from here, this is where all the fun begins. This is the good fun bit. Nice wee bit of scrambling. Nothing too serious, just grade 1 stuff. But it definitely requires the use of a hand. Really, I would recommend using 2, but because I'm filming, I see if I can figure out ways to do it with only 1 hand. 9 times out of 10 it works, and if it doesn't, I just put the camera away. Because safety has got to come first. Very good. Wowee. Oh, I think I feel a spot of rain. I got my jacket on. It is beginning to rain, so I am going to put my waterproof jacket on. You just sit there for a wee second.
I've never been a fan of trying to persevere through the rain without a shell jacket. I just think that becomes a bit miserable and you end up getting overly wet. And if you just take 2 seconds, grab your jacket, pop it on, you'll definitely have a more comfortable experience. So it has clagged in. Oh dear. And it's super humid, you can always just like feel the moisture in the air. It's quite cool. But it's a little bit, how do I put this? Eerie? Is eerie the right word? If I sort of spin you around and you look over my shoulder, you just see the cliffs and the mist. Yeah, I guess that is quite eerie. And we're just about to sort of pop over these cliffs. And I thought I'll do this piece of the camera before I get on top of there, because we're approaching 800 metres in altitude. And I think once we're exposed it's going to be a bit windy. But the good thing is, we really aren't far away from the summit at this point.
Just because we're getting closer to the summit doesn't mean that it's getting any easier. Quite the opposite on this route.
Oh, it wins like a nose run.
When the cloud reduces visibility and the wind picks up, you really do need to take a lot of care, especially in this type of environment. This route does involve a bit of grade 1 scrambling, and the moisture in the air made some of the rock quite slick underfoot. At this point in the adventure, it's all about good decision making, ensuring you have good foot placement, secure handholds, and a solid grasp on your navigation. It should also be said that smart decisions don't need to be boring, and there's certainly nothing boring about where I am or what I'm doing. But every decision is calculated for sure. Smart decisions don't detract from the experience. They actually allow you to enjoy it to its fullest.
It's a pretty intimidating sight, especially when the clag has dropped and it's just coming in and out with this sort of wispy cloud. It really is a spectacular place, and it's one of my favourites coming up here. I don't do this route too often. I certainly try and do it in winter. I think it's a really good winter route. But a lot of people think that the little gully behind me is the crux of the route. And in a lot of ways it certainly could be. I think it's actually the most fun part of the whole route. And I'm going to do my best to see if I can make justice of it going up. I'm just catching my breath. I'm going to take on a wee bit of water before heading up there. For me, I think this is just a really good grade 1 scramble. You definitely need to get hands on in places. There's a few interesting moves you need to pull, especially with only one hand. But overall, I think it's great fun. I can understand why people would be sceptical of it if you're not used to scrambling. But I mean, what a place, what an environment. And that's it. That's the awkward steps over. And now it's a short amble to the summit. Have you figured out where I am? If you have, great, and if not, the reveal is going to come in 3, 2, 1. Welcome to the summit of Ben Nar Nain, here in the Arrochar Alps in the beautiful Scottish Highlands. Now, usually at this point in the video I'd show you the beautiful views, the glorious vistas, the stunning landscape panoramas, but unfortunately today is not that day. So I'm not going to hang around here for long because it's blowing a hoolie, it's a bit wet and moist, and I want to find somewhere reasonably sheltered to have a cup of tea. To the main path and off of the hill path now. And I'm on this main path for the first time today. Usually you start coming up this main path, or well, not usually, but for a lot of routes you start up this main path. However, I'm only going to enjoy it going down today, which will be nice. So I think the only thing to do now is to try and get to the Nar Nain boulders and pray that I can get a bit of shelter from this rain so that I can enjoy my cup of tea. Oh dear. Well then, here I am at the world famous Nar Nain boulders. I'm going to be brave and I'm going to take this waterproof jacket off. Oh, because I think, I hope that the worst of the rain is over. And I'm probably not going to stop here for too long, truth be told, because, well, I'm a little bit soggy now and I fancy just getting down off the mountain. But I would like to take this opportunity to say thank you very much for watching. I really hope you have enjoyed this video. Having a great time today, you know, even with the weather considerations and, you know, some of the challenging conditions, but, you know, I wouldn't change it. I absolutely love this. I feel I'm in such a privileged position that I get to do this consistently and so openly. And again, I'm really grateful for every person that sort of watches the videos and is following me on this weird and wonderful journey. But yeah, thank you so much for watching. Stay safe out there, and I'll see you in the next adventure soon.